Welcome back to the Pierre and Catherine Labatt Softball Complex for the Northeast Delta Dental American Softball Championship, hosted by the University of Maine. Game 5 of the tournament, with 2 more coming tomorrow, and then championship Saturday, which could be another 1 to 2 contest, depending on how everything plays out. Maine fans and players alike. First team eliminated just a few moments ago by the UAlbany Great Danes in a very tight contest. It was a 3-1 final in that contest, but a lot of players left on base for the Great Danes, hoping to avoid that here today, especially against the bubble power in which top-ranked Bryant has. As you can see, the bubbles emanating from their dugout. Less joyous than they were to start the day, but they mean business here in this elimination contest, hoping to keep their tournament championship dreams alive.
Absolutely. A disappointing loss earlier in the day for the Bryant Bulldogs, but they want to keep it light and airy like the bubbles, keep the vibes high and inflated. Meanwhile, UAlbany, you mentioned it, 2 times in this tournament they have had just a motherload of traffic, just so many base runners, a lot of opportunities with runners on, and both times not able to capitalize to the fullest extent. First time it resulted in a loss. Second time they eked out a win against Maine, and a well-deserved new lease on their life here as they look to knock off the number 1 seed Bulldogs and advance to the tomorrow. So we got a real dogfight on our hands, literally.
Yeah, it's just your preference, really. Is it a Bulldog or a Great Dane? As we look at Lexi Powell, and we'll take a look at our starting pitcher presented by Service Credit Union. And Lexi Powell, not the traditional number you see adorned for a starting pitcher, but 81 is what we'll see out there. And 14 games started. This will be number 15 on the season with a 5-5 record. And she'll be trying to keep the Great Danes at bay.
Powell, a two-way player in 15 starts, 20 appearances on the offensive side of things, OPS of 786, holds her own at the plate, plays some first base, but also the third pitching option for the Bryant Bulldogs, and looks to come out and set the Great Danes down today.
Pretty similar lineup than we saw from the last game in the prior elimination contest. Taylor Quinn leading off, followed by Sarah Anderson, Katie Parisi, who had a great game again, as per tradition, hitting third. And playing in the outfield, Mary-Kate Murray as the cleanup hitter. And then followed by Deanna Grayhack, Sierra Roy, Julia Pike, Casey Kahn, and Ava Beal back in center field for a second consecutive game.
Chris Canada in year 32 sticks with the proven philosophy of if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and she'll stick with the same lineup.
And just a little bit of a change here for the Bryant Bulldogs defense, as Alyssa West will be the battery mate with Powell. Tegan Thompson at first base, Glendenon over at third. In the middle infield, is Waldo and Jenks at shortstop and second, respectively. Elena Garcia gets to start in right field for the second contest of the day for the Bryant Bulldogs. Lewis maintains the position in center field, and Ariana Williams in left. Of course, our look at the starting pitcher, brought to you by Service Credit Union, the official credit union of the America East. And you can see the torque that Lexi Powell is able to get on each throw. As this visiting Bryant Bulldogs, a uniform change. Didn't like what they had on before. They'll take off the white pants and go with the black with the gold pinstripes, hoping that will bring them some good fortune.
Well, yeah, the gold pinstripes, a decadent, glamorous look, if you ask me. I'm a fan, big time.
Yeah, it's same jersey manufacturer as the Black Bears have as well. So Maine has the navy blue with the light blue pinstripes. And using the school colors of Bryant University, you get the black with the gold trim and stripes. Well, we're going to get right underway. The fanfare is gone because we have an elimination game, and both teams will be fighting tooth and nail to try to eliminate the other. On one hand, UAlbany, one of the class teams and the most successful in the Americas Conference in the last handful of years, up there with Binghamton and UMBC, trying to stay alive and not be the second team eliminated.
They've got a loaded top of the lineup. They've got 2 of the most dynamic rookies in the conference. They've got a strong pitching staff. They don't want to let that go to waste. But the regular season number 1, Bryant Bulldogs, winning record against every other America East foe this year. The coach of the year, Bianca Bell, wants to steer them to tomorrow.
Robert Bloss getting the call behind home plate today, as he will be the man calling the balls and strikes. Peter Soprano back in here for game number 3 of the day, and Nathan Nagel working once more. He'll be at the third base bag. This one missing. It'll be a 1-1 count here to Quinn, who had such a successful day versus the Maine Black Bears earlier. I would say they could sleep in because they didn't have to play in the first game, but I'm sure that they were all up and mentally preparing themselves to avoid getting eliminated by the Maine Black Bears. This one missing, 2-1. You always have to wonder, is it better to play back-to-back games, or is it better to be like Bryant, play the game first, take some time to reassess, then come back out there? You have a chance to get a little colder in between.
Absolutely. We had this debate earlier, and I think either side has pros and cons. We'll see how it pans out today.
This one hit towards the right side, now to play. So the sun started to make an appearance back at the ballpark, though some ominous clouds off in the distance. Rain's supposed to hold off. So I'm Bryant Stackpole along with Jonas Smith, and we appreciate you joining us in this Thursday evening, the third and final game of the day and the fifth one total. The 2-2 pitch inside. Thought it might have a chance to hit Quinn, but alas, makes the count full. Not a lot of structures here at the ballpark that will be casting a lot of shadows, though there are a couple in center field. The gate was open on the first base side, foul territory. I'll be gathered up and fixed. Kudos to umpire Peter Soprano. A little hustle out there to make sure we're good to go. Another foul ball, this time third base side. Bulldogs had such a successful season in conference play. UAlbany was just behind them in a couple losses more. And this one will be bounced in the turf. A leadoff walk for Quinn, who continues to maintain a very hot day. Sarah Anderson, the third baseman, now stepping to the plate. The one thing the Great Danes are trying not to fall in the trap of leaving runners on the base pass. They kept in the contest due to that fact. Bunt shown. It's a nice one. Picked up by the first baseman. Thompson fires over to Jenks. The runner advances to second base now in scoring position in the form of Quinn, as Anderson executes that perfectly.
The small ball philosophy of UAlbany once again on display. They know what it takes to manufacture a run, and there have been points in this tournament where maybe they've tried to do a little too much with runners on, and Chris Canada says, let's simplify, let's get a runner in scoring position with the sacrifice bunt.
Katie Parisi now steps in the right side of the plate. She's known for doubles, and if she hits one here, it'll be 1-0 UAlbany. It's the first pitch missing outside. Wind starting to swirl from right to left now, according to the state of Maine, and American flags off in left center field. Beautiful breaking pitch right at the top of the knees. And the count now be 1-1 to the number 3 hitter.
If you can locate that drop ball like Lexi Powell does, you're going to find yourself in a lot of favorable counts. One outing this year back on April 18th for Lexi Powell versus the UAlbany Great Danes, and I'll tell you how that went after this pitch.
Powell rocks and fires with one down. Grounded weakly down the third base side.
In that start against the Great Danes, Powell went 6 1/3 innings before UAlbany was able to chase her. She surrendered 8 hits and 3 runs, all of them earned, 1 walk and 1 strikeout. So the command is there for Lexi Powell. Doesn't necessarily miss a lot of bats, but relies on her defense, and really Bryant plays as a unit, and they're so cohesive as a team, and they all trust each other. That's what it takes to have a championship caliber squad.
The 1-2, just below the knees. Bulldog fans were hoping that would have been strike 3, especially against a very talented player in the realm of Parisi. bearing down again. Off-speed pitch out in front of it, but sending it all the way back towards the track. Catching that one in the shadows of the track is going to be Lewis. The throw into third gets away. And it was an opportunity there for Quinn as Noah was covering home plate, but she elects to retreat back to third base.
Could have been a frenetic scamper there for an extra run. No calamity this time. Parisi put a charge into this one. Great track. Good relay throw. This one skips away from Clendenin, and you're right, Quinn had an opportunity to make it 1-0, but playing a little conservatively here, don't want to run into that third out and deflate the rest of your team.
And now here's Mary Kate Murray. First pitch missing low. Every pitch is up the magnitude of importance. Neither team can afford to make a crucial, big mistake. One bad inning could mean the end of your season in an elimination contest. Called strike, catches the outside black of home plate. It's been a beautiful Thursday for softball in the central part of the state of Maine. Yesterday, a lot of rain in the forecast. Only got 2 of the 3 scheduled in. And hence why this game occurring here today. This game originally, I believe, was, well, everything was supposed to be changed around. The Bryant UMass Lowell game was supposed to be the 3rd game yesterday. Got moved to the first one here today. This one missing. We're going to punch one of the tickets into the Americas Championship game today's schedule, where that game has been pushed to the first contest starting at noon tomorrow between Binghamton and UMass Lowell. 3-1 count now to Mary Kate Murray. Can't leave one over the plate to her. And instead it's fouled away and the count will be full. The winner of this game will stay alive and will await the loser of Binghamton UMass Lowell. Now with the rock and fire. That one's fouled off the right side and well out of play. Val taking her time in the circle, making sure every moment is as precise as possible. Full count, 2 down. Taylor Quinn over at third base. And that one will miss high. And the Great Danes will be standing on the corners with a red-hot Deanna Grayheck stepping up to the plate.
Red hot is right. Grayheck, the wind in her sails after last game against the Maine Black Bears earlier this afternoon. 3 for 4. Spraying the ball all over the field, just made consistent contact all game long. And here comes an immediate litmus test. I've been sounding like a broken record all day long. UAlbany really has struggled to cash in with runners on, and now they have a chance.
First one misses. The Great Danes have yet to get a hit in this contest, albeit extremely early in the top half of the first inning. The 2 walks afforded by way of the hand of Lexi Powell has given a dangerous proposition for the Bulldogs to try to get out of. In off the hands, fielded cleanly, not a problem. Jenks to Gesualdo, and the 4-6 putout ends the inning. We'll come back with the home half of the first coming up next on the Northeast Delta Dental Americas Softball Championship on ESPN+.
For UAlbany in the first inning.
At Northeast Delta Dental, we love to see people smile. And as the leading provider of quality dental coverage for Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont, we're committed to helping entire communities smile. Whether it's through education, supporting our veterans, or giving and volunteering, we're helping to make our communities even stronger. Learn more about Northeast Delta Dental at nedelta.com. We think you'll find a lot to smile about.
At Service Credit Union, we believe that your life is a story. And like most stories, every chapter brings something different. A new adventure, a new calling, a new hero, and even a new beginning. No matter what page you're on, we'll be with you. Service Credit Union.
At the break of dawn, our conference awakens, and champions will rise, pulsing like a battle drum, steady and unyielding, ready to face any challenge through grit and resolve. Out here rises the heart of the tenacious, fueled by conviction and driven by commitment to team and alma mater. This is our battle cry that rings out through the generations. The sun rises in the east, so does our march towards greatness, which has only just begun. This is the America East.
Well, let's take a look at today's starting pitcher for UAlbany, presented by Service Credit Union. It's none other than Haley Arakello, we've seen early in this tournament. This will be start number 18 in the season for Arakello. First pitch missing.
The most dependable softball pitchers are those who are flexible, right? Who are confident starting a game and feeling like it's in their command, and also who are confident stepping in tough situations and delivering outs, and Arakello is that.
That's going to be a called strike. 1-1 the count here to the leadoff hitter, Ariana Williams. Williams just over 300 for the batting average. First-year player. Showed bunt, pulled back, called a strike nonetheless. Haley Wizerak yesterday for UAlbany was pitching masterfully. Had, I think, 3 perfect innings and then continued the no-hitter into the 5th inning. Then had a shoulder pinch, it seemed. Had to come out of the contest, and then things kind of unraveled for the Great Danes.
Yeah, not sure if we're going to see Haley Wizerak again in this tournament after she left with that shoulder issue. Arakello and Julia Pike might have a tough task ahead of them if Wizerak is not able to pitch the rest of the way.
That's one missing outside. The one luxury that the Bryant Bulldogs do have is that they only had to play 1 game to get to this point. Losing to UMass Lowell, who's just a very plucky team, just piling on runs. 5-run 5th inning, and they never looked back. This one slashed over the left side, now to play. Williams doing much like she did to start off the game versus the Riverhawks. She's just been very plucky and also pestery leadoff hitter, which is exactly what you want to see if you're head coach Bianca Bell.
Arakello made 2 outings versus Bryant this year in the circle. On March 21st, she went 6 innings, 11 hits, got pounded for 6 runs. However, her defense collapsed behind her in that game. Only 2 of those runs were earned. Didn't walk anybody, 4 strikeouts in that game. The following day, 3 1/3, 6 hits, 3 runs, all earned, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. So a mixed bag.
Williams showing bunt on the full count. She'll pull it back. This pitch missing inside. Goes all the way to the backstop. Williams isn't going to try to be greedy. And will take the leadoff walk.
Yeah, completely out of control on the 3-2 pitch there. Pretty uncommon sight from Arakello, and quick mound visit here just to get it all settled down before the number 2 hitter.
Jaden Jenks coming up to the plate next. I think 216 on the season.
Batting second, the second baseman, number 3, Jaden Jenks.
Second baseman plays a tremendous defensive side of the position. Pitch from Arakello, bunt shown, gets off the glove of West. Williams with the speed will advance to second base with ease. Almost looked like she was an autopilot, lofting and floating into second base now in scoring position.
Certainly Ariana Williams so fast on the base paths that she almost appears to glide. And she and Jaden Jenks, obviously distinct players with distinct skill sets, but they each have the advantage of, strong bunters, very fast, and it's a blitz immediately with this Bryant order as Bianca Bell will ambush you with her 2 most fleet-of-foot players before bringing in a player like Bryce Clendenin or Tegan Thompson, who's got the pop, who's got the ability to clean the plate that has been set by Williams and Jenks.
This one up and away. And another one that's just missing the mark here.
Arakello typically pretty controlled. Just 29 walks in 98 innings of action this season. Looks completely out of control here. And it's time for assistant coach Kate Gentili to interface with her pitcher here, maybe diagnose what's going on.
You could tell Sierra Roy just seemed to be all out of whack here in the communication, and the pitches, I think, weren't necessarily a miscommunication on what was thrown, but the release on the pitches from Arakello had not been as crisp. See the replay here, the last one.
Wow.
You even get the leather as Williams now at third base. This all occurring in just 2 pitches, too. So you turn a walk that was handed out on a very good, tough battled first at bat for Ariana Williams, and now it turns basically into a triple with the 2 wide ones. Maybe not wide ones, maybe high ones is probably more apt. Well, Jenks showing bunt. Another one will miss. Though Roy seemingly a little bit more pleased with the velocity and that one being closer to the zone.
Yeah, not sure if the timing is off. Sometimes if you get rid of a softball a little too late, your arm is already too far around and you can sail it pretty easily.
And another one misses the mark. Back-to-back walks.
Yeah, 4 of them just far too high. Far too high. And I'm not sure if it's a mentality or a mechanical issue for Arakello right now. Typically, it's one of those 2 things or both that sometimes get a little bit interconnected when a pitcher starts to lose command.
Gabriela Gesualdo already with a home run in this tournament. Another one misses. This one, a throw down to second base, and they'll steal home. Williams using her speed as the throwdown was cut off to second base, but the throw home was not enough or in time as Ariana Williams swipes the home plate.
Well, that's probably the best effort that we've seen this tournament of a team trying to conquer the steal from first with runners on the corners, but quite frankly, it's wishful thinking if you are envisioning to pick one of those 2 runners off the base paths. Williams and Jenks just so fleet of foot, so reliable, high IQ on the base paths, and definitely an ill-advised attempt to go down to second by Sierra Roy.
The crazy thing is, too, you watch the replay. Williams was barely off the third base bag when the throw occurred down to second base before it was cut off. She did that on a dead sprint, probably about 3 or 4 feet off the bag. Finally, a strike called here, and one thrown from Arakello. Bunt, perfectly placed. Arakello gets it, fires, but not in time, and then another run will score. Jaden Jenks scores all the way from second base, never stopping on the bunt attempt, and it's 2-0 Bryant.
Wow, for Jaden Jenks in scoring position. Typically, it takes a hit to the outfield. Not this time. Scoring from second on a bunt. And it almost feels like UAlbany is off balance. Like Bryant, like I said, they ambushed the blitz at the top of the lineup from Bianca Bell. Just pure speed, and now the table is set for Clendenin.
First pitch to Thompson. Their first plate appearance. The first baseman for the Bryant Bulldogs. Still no outs in this bottom of the first inning. And while UAlbany struggled against Maine to push the runners home that were on the base pass, Bryant doing an excellent job with the speed. Another great bunt. This the throw. We'll get Thompson for the first out. Runner advances to second, and back in time is Gesualdo.
Well, I got to apologize there. That was Tegan Thompson who laid down the gorgeous bunt, setting the table for Bryce Clendenin, who is now digging into the dish. But Bianca Bell, you know, those first 2 runners get on by virtue of patience, and their speed gets them across the plate. And now another runner in scoring position, power thread on.
Clendenin will take that strike on the inside half of the plate. And you have to love, too, the sacrifices of these hitters that you know can really rake. But showing bunt initially, then pulling the bat back. Gesualdo hit a huge home run earlier in the day. Laid down the bunt just to help her team out. This one high, deep, back towards the wall, but just shy in front of the Northeast Delta Dental sign. Tagging up and moving to third base on the play. It's Gesualdo. And a ride given by Glendenin, but just a tad too short.
The Great Dane fans in the park covering their eyes. Tell me when it's over, they said. Not to fear. Purple-clad spectators. That is a harmless out number 2.
I will see if Elena Garcia can get something done here. First pitch a called strike. You can see the sun really shining down. First at bat of the Northeast Delta Dental American Softball Championship for Garcia in the second game for the Bulldogs. Another one finding the outside black. And Arakello starting to find her form as the first inning continues.
Certainly the mental fortitude of Haley Arakello to zone in and hit that strike zone on display.
That one missing high. Arakello tried to dial up the miles per hour on that pitch. Chance emanating from the third base dugout. The home currently of the Bulldogs in a check swing. Backing off in the distance. Looks like some Maine softball players decided to stick around after their game. Another one missing, and a great keen hitter's eye for Garcia so far in her first at-bat. Shows bunt here with a 2-2 count. Pulls it back, and then he'll foul that to the netting again. It has been a very long and demonstrative first inning so far between these two teams. Just showing you how vital this is for these athletes have put so much time and effort over the last 365 days. As now the count will be full. That one just missed the zone, according to our home plate umpire, Robert Bloss. And she'll work the walk. What a great at-bat there for the right fielder, Elena Garcia. And just one hit so far for the Bryant Bulldogs, but they've given up. UAlbany has 3 walks handed out.
Yeah, the command. Arakello has to search for it and find it. Not gifted to her to start this outing.
Stolen base attempt. It's going to be a rundown. Now we'll see. Yep, the run will score. And Garcia gets back to the bag as well. As that was perfectly executed. Just Waldo was sprinting in home, and UAlbany was trying to tag out the runner and Garcia before the runner was able to score and touch home plate, but not the case on either side.
And that's just a freebie. The Bryant Bulldogs are too well coached to mess up that play on the base paths, and UAlbany needs to just swallow the pill and let the runner take second next time instead of getting too ambitious trying to tag them out on the base paths, because it has resulted in a free run twice.
Another one misses the mark.
And I mean, I say free in the sense that their decision to throw down allowed the run to score, but obviously these are hard-earned runs on the base paths. I don't mean to diminish the hard work of the Bulldogs to get on and get around.
This one lofted into left center field, looks to stay up and will into the glove of Parisi, and the inning is over. But the Bulldogs strike first and put a 3 spot on the board. One complete from Orono, and it's Bryant 3, UAlbany nothing on the Northeast Delta Dental American Softball Championship on ESPN+.
As the leading provider for quality dental coverage for Maine.
The American Softball Championship is presented by Jersey Mike's, a proud supporter of America's women's sports. Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Leading off for UAlbany, the catcher, number 22, Sierra Roy.
6-7-8 due up for UAlbany now, finding themselves trailing 3-0. They trailed early in the game versus Maine as well, too. This one hit to center field, ranging back and getting that one is Lewis, who makes it look easy. One pitch, one out, and Roy is retired.
Nice charge put in that one by Sierra Roy, but Lanai Lewis with the nice read to secure out number one on one pitch, and that level of efficiency is going to help Lexi Powell so much in this game if she can keep grooving him in there and forcing manageable contact. Julia Pike, though, pitched earlier this afternoon and now wants to go on an offensive tear.
First pitch missing outside, and Pike was excellent in the pitching performance side of things for the Great Danes, allowing just one run to the Maine Black Bears. 0 for 2 with a walk, however, on the hitting side of things, but it's a great bat as a first-year player and a two-way player, that is, for the Great Danes. This one lofted in to right field, ranging back and grabbing. That one is Garcia, robbing extra bases. Welcome to the American East Tournament.
And this is the strength of Bryant, top to bottom. Even if you have not been getting the reps so far, just brilliant. Just brilliant. Garcia. Wide receiver style.
Yeah, I was about to say. Might sign her up to play on Saturdays.
Is that worth 7 points, 6 points, Brian?
Yeah, I would say so if it's near the end zone. So 2 flyouts. Oh, breaking pitch was on point. A beautiful bender versus Casey Kahn, who was a productive member of the offensive statistics side of things for the Great Danes back in the last game. I'll have to talk to the Bryant football team and see if they might want to use the hands of Elena Garcia, possibly in the fall. Second pitch, Kahn fouls back over to the netting. Quickly down the count 0-2. And that's the thing you love to see as a pitcher, too. Your team, your offense produces 3 runs in the bottom of the first inning. Now you feel a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more loose. You see a great play made by your center fielder and then your right fielder, and you feel like, you know what, I'm just going to go out there and throw my best pitches in the zone. This one hit down the line, but it's going to hook foul. Garcia was giving chase, thinking everything's in a range. She ran out of time. And the winner moves on to another elimination game on Friday afternoon. The loser will exit the tournament earlier than they had hoped. And pressure is probably a lot more on the Bulldogs not to go 2-0, especially as the #1 seed in the regular season title champions.
Certainly 6 tournaments in a row leading up to this year where the #1 regular season seed took it home, and Bryant not keen to watch that streak end.
This one missing outside, 1-2.
And I love the encouragement there that you saw from the backstop, Alyssa West. That point back to Powell, like, hey, I like that pitch, even though it was not a strike. You did your job.
The 1-2. Right back up the middle. Powell getting down, gloves it nicely, and the throw with precision. 1-2-3, top of the second inning, as the Bulldogs come up looking to add on to their 3-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the second. Coming up next on ESPN+. The America East Softball Championship is presented by Service Credit Union, the official credit union of the America East. Also brought to you by Northeast Delta Dental, proud partner of the America East. And V-Venue, the official ticketing partner of the America East. 3-0 lead for Bryant, looking to add on, bottom of the second inning. Down the line, what a piece of hitting. And Jalen Lee looking for extra bases. She's into second base standing. One pitch, and what a strike down the third base line.
The Bulldogs playing with conviction in this matchup. They are unhappy with how their first tournament game went. And they want to make a statement as the #1 regular season seed here. Jalen Lee, nice opposite field, frozen rope, dribbling into the corner, and that's extra bases in her sleep. So much speed up and down this Bulldogs lineup.
Another dangerous hitter in the number 9 spot, Lania Lewis. Swing and a miss. Looked like she was trying to pulp that one into Alphonse Stadium way off in the distance. 2 home runs, 12 runs batted in. Would like to get that unlucky number for most, but for her it would be a very lucky 13. Hit off to the right side, quickly down the count 0-2.
Well, so go ahead, Brian.
I was just going to say, again, beautiful day here. Just a little bit chillier as the wind's still picking up and the sun's starting to dart behind clouds.
Definitely more favorable conditions today than yesterday at this time.
Lights have just turned on from the ballpark. Swing and a miss, strike 3. First K of the evening for Arikella.
That is a momentous punch out for Arikella. Climbed the ladder, blew it by Lewis, and that first out is huge. Bryant got plenty of traffic, got a run or two across with nobody out in the first inning, and Arikella wants to get the situation under control. Top of the order up now.
And Williams back up there, who scored after walking to lead off the contest. Shows the bunt. And I think she got a piece of it there. Yeah, be a 0-1 count. Lee still at second base, of course. She also stole home plate, did Williams. Hits it right at the shortstop. Looks back the runner. Throws over to first in time. Excellently done by Deanna Grayhack. No runner advancement and also getting the big second out.
And I cannot espouse my appreciation enough for Deanna Grayhack's level of cool-headed defense over at shortstop. When I was growing up playing Little League Baseball, they called the shortstop position the captain of the infield. And she has that mentality, so even-keeled, so skilled.
Grounded down the third baseline, fielded cleanly. Anderson fires over, and relatively quick order made of the Bryant Bulldogs in the bottom of the second inning. 2 complete here in Orono. It's Bryant 3, UAlbany nothing. The Northeast Delta Dental America East Softball Championship on ESPN+.
One runner left on base.
Welcome back to the Pierre and Catherine Labatt Softball Complex for the Northeast Delta Dental American Softball Championship, hosted by the University of Maine. And some good hosts of the furry friends as well. I'm Brian Stampel, joined by Jonas Smith. Thanks again to our production team with Ryan Leffler and Marissa Tripp. Doing an excellent job on day 2, and we still got 2 more to go, though. The lion's share of the games will be completed after today. 2 games scheduled for tomorrow, and then 1, possibly 2 on Saturday, though it's been a while since the if necessary game did occur in softball. So the last time, though, that happened with baseball, we had that last year, for the first time I think over a decade. So I won't utter it again just in case, too. But it's been a great week so far of softball, and we see the number 9 hitter, Ava Beal, already down the count 0-2.
Well, if you're feeling superstitious, Brian, I'll say it. The last time that second championship game had to be played was in 2010.
It's been a while.
16 years ago.
Yeah, the team who usually comes through, even though softball pitching is so valuable, that's what I'm missing. Compared to the baseball counterparts, sometimes baseball you'll run out of arms. Like you'll have 1 or 2, 3 really good solid starting pitchers, but if you lose a game along the way, you have to burn more in the elimination game. Softball, you can bring back pitchers more frequently without the wear and tear.
Yeah, these are still human beings with physical limits whose performance will deteriorate with more pitches, but so strong and durable.
Just getting a piece of it is Ava Beal.
The mental fortitude of these pitchers, so impressive to come out and throw 100-plus pitches multiple days in a row, sometimes multiple times in the same day. But also for being anatomical about it, the underarm pitching motion significantly less stressful on the ligaments in your elbow and your shoulder than the overarm pitching motion.
Yeah, it's a natural motion for humans. Powell doing some unnatural movements on that pitch. As Beal is retired by the strikeout. First K for Lexi Powell and 1 away in the 3rd.
Totally off balance that time, and just because Lexi Powell was able to pull the string that time, making that pitch dance.
Here's Taylor Quinn. Walked in the first, was stranded at third base. Oh, the pop of the mitt of West echoing across the grounds here on campus in a first pitch strike.
That's how you can tell a pitcher is dialed in, especially velocity-wise. Reared back, gave it a couple extra miles per hour, and a resounding clap.
Grounded towards the right side, fielded cleanly by Jenks. Over to Thompson, 4-3 on the putout. 2 down already for UAlbany in the top of the 3rd.
Extremely turbulent bottom of the first inning, and very few base runners before or since. Very efficiently moving game so far, with the exception of that bottom of the first. And these pitchers are starting to get a rhythm and maybe hit the cruise control button.
Sarah Anderson had a sacrifice. Sees a first pitch strike. And what Powell's been able to do so effectively, she's just hitting the bottom of the strike zone. Going with fastball right there at the knees. And even if you did make contact, not much you're going to be able to do with that. Another one, this time just missing a little low. Powell settled down very nicely, working with a quicker pace than she did in the first. And I wonder if that might have helped both the pitchers kind of settle back down and get a better routine. Second elimination game of the day. And a breaking pitch missing low. 2-1 now the count. Winner continues their stay in the Pine Tree State. The other has to travel back down south. For UAlbany, it's more of a western trek, but still have to go down southward through the state of Maine. So one grounded off the leg of Anderson. As the count be 2-2. Anderson trying to walk this one off a little bit. Definitely feels the ill effects, though. Oh, right off the toe.
And Sarah Anderson's such an asset. Still favoring that foot, and obviously the sting takes a minute or two to go away. And then from there, you can sort of feel it out, test to see if it's a more profound injury that will cause a more lingering sensation. But Sarah Anderson, durable. She'll shake it off. And one of the most prolific contact bats, most disciplined hitters. She'll dig right back in.
She awaits the 2-2 pitch with 2 down at the top of the third. That will miss low, and it'll be a full count. Powell's retired now 6 straight batters, trying to avoid having that streak broken, looking for her 7th. Down the line, picked up. Glendenon fires over to first. A rock wall is Glendenon. It's a 5-3 put out, and another 1-2-3 inning for the Bryant defense and Lexi Powell. As we head to the home half of the third, Bryant 3, UAlbany nothing on the Northeast Delta Dental American Softball Championship on ESPN+.
At Northeast Delta Dental, we love to see people smile. And as the leading provider of quality dental coverage for Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont, we're committed to helping entire communities smile. Whether it's through education, supporting our veterans, or giving and volunteering, we're helping to make our communities even stronger. Learn more about Northeast Delta Dental at nedelta.com. We think you'll find a lot to smile about.
Ground yourself in this moment. What do you smell? What do you hear? That's the sound of a juicy steak with 10 essential nutrients like protein, iron, and B vitamins to support your wellness journey. Now that's my kind of aromatherapy. The nutrition you need, the balance you crave. Together, we bring more. Beef.
At Jersey Mike's, they slice your order fresh right in front of you. And let me tell you, watching that can send a rush of emotions through a person. Excitement, baby-like wonder, anticipatory chewing, nervous pacing, happy claps, and finally, jealousy, because that's this guy's sub. I should order one. Good idea.
Get the Boardwalk Bundle, a number 2 sub, chips and a drink for $10.99. Available for a limited time.
It's a Jersey Mike's thing, a sub above.
Waldo, Thompson, and Glendenon due up for the Bryant Bulldogs. Scored 3 runs in the first inning and held scoreless in the second. While the Great Danes have put up 3 zeros in the run column offensively in the top half of each of the last 3 innings. Arakello's first pitch fouled away by Giswaldo. An RBI single, later scored a run. Represents one of the 2 hits Bryant has on the day. Bulldog bench again on the third base side has been very vocal. Another one fouled up and out of play.
Giswaldo brought the boom earlier today. Home run against UMass Lowell.
It was not enough when all was said and done. That's why they're playing today, but it was definitely a shot, to say the least. That ball taken, 1-2 count. Urakello did not like that softball. Request another one. And that one rolled all the way to the backstop. Home plate umpire Robert Bloss gathers it up. This one missing high. 2-2 now. Urakello also finding a little bit more of a groove since the first inning woes, where she surrendered 3 runs to the Bulldogs. This one grounded weakly third base side, picked up. Anderson fires over, and that is in time. Hustling down the line was Giswaldo, but did not beat the throw.
Great work ranging across and putting that away. Sarah Anderson, so strong defensively, and her all-around skills are really a great reason why she earned second team all-conference.
Tegan Thompson, first pitch swinging, picked up. Grayheck, again, sure-handed, and the throw just as good as well. As Murray getting some work at first base, but when the throws are that good, don't have to worry about it. 5-3 now, 6-3 on the putouts for the first 2 outs in the bottom of the third.
6 straight Bulldogs retired in order. Arakello, and you said it, rhythm. She struggled mightily with the command in the bottom of the first, gave up a leadoff double in the second, and since then totally locked down.
This one missing just a tad too high. Glendenin flew out to left field in her first crack up at the plate. Middle infield playing near the outfield turf. They'll creep in. Down the line, but hooking foul. And the loser of this contest eliminated. The winner is 1 game away from making the America East Championship. But it's another elimination game, and that championship game means they have to win twice on Championship Saturday. The 1-1 pitch. This is high. Arakello trying for her first 1-2-3 inning. I'll have to wait at least another pitch or so. As that one not swung on, and the count now 3-1. This one hit high, but not very deep. No problem for Parisi, who comes down with it, and there is the first 1-2-3 inning for Haley Arakello and the UAlbany defense. As we've played 3 here from Orono, as we head to the top of the 4th, coming up next on the Northeast Delta Dental American Softball Championship on ESPN+.
Once again, fans, be sure to...
Tom, at this year's softball championship, Northeast Delta Dental is honoring heroes from the local Maine community. Why is this an important aspect of the partnership with the America East?
As a business member of the Maine community, we welcome the opportunity to honor people that are making a true difference. A hero can be many things to people, but one thing they all have in common is the positive impact they are having in the community, and they deserve to be recognized.
Katie Parisi up there takes the first pitch for a ball. Again, we appreciate Ben Stockwell from the America East. Tom Raffio. This one gets away from the first baseman Thompson. Oh, and now a potential pickle. And the tag out. Wow, Bryant is just so efficient running the base pass on offense, but then Parisi overzealous trying to extend that free base at first after the error into 2 and gets tagged out.
Yeah, rare mistake. And maybe a miscommunication. Don't see any signal from Kate Gentili. Fortuitous rebound for Bryant as that ball came ricocheting back and in a position where it could be played by Thompson.
Well, Parisi is retired on the play, and now here's Mary-Kate Murray. Takes a called strike on the outside half of the plate. You're in the halfway point in this contest. Kind of settled down after UAlbany threatened but unable to score in the top half of the first. Then Bryant put up a three spot. Another perfect pitch. And Alyssa West likes what she sees as a point over to Powell in the circle.
Well, so far in the tournament, UAlbany getting a lot of traffic on. Unable to capitalize and push enough runners across in their first game. Pushed 3 across in game 2, despite having plenty of hits and walks.
Grounded down the side, past the outstretched glove of Glendenin and Giswaldo. And that's the first UAlbany base hit of the contest. Is a base knock there for Murray in the top of the 4th.
Mary-Kate Murray seeing the ball very well today and drills one through the hole there. Her second time reaching and only the third base runner today for UAlbany. 0 for 2 so far with runners aboard, and again, they're going to need to improve in that category dramatically and instantly to get back into this one and get themselves a new lease on life in this tournament. But Deanna Grayheck, so strong defensively and also seeing the ball well in this tournament. She's due up right now.
We'll have a pinch runner. Jenny Nardelli will check in. A sophomore who we saw earlier in the contest as well. Grayhack first pitch swinging. Ranging back is Lewis. Shy of the track, will come down with that one. Nardelli will have to go all the way back to first base. And quickly now 2 out. As Grayhack, who was red hot versus Maine, a little cooler versus Bryant. After the ground out, it now fly out. And now here's Sierra Roy.
The catcher, Sierra Roy.
Flew out to center field back in the second inning to lead off. Now trying to continue this after the Great Danes get their first hit against Lexi Powell. Oh, way ahead of that one. Just a great change of speeds by Powell.
I think Lexi Powell might have cast a literal spell on that softball before she threw it, because that to me looked like it was going to be a rise ball type high heater and nasty 12-6 drop had Sierra Roy fooled as well.
Like the ball was on a string, and the ball was the Pinocchio to the Geppetto of Powell. This one missing. West gets quickly out of the crouch and feigns a throw down to first base, but keeps it and elects it to stay in her hand. The 1-1 pitch to Roy. Just missing the outside half of the plate. West tried to frame it back into the zone, but to no avail, and it'll be 2-1. Again, a busy weekend on campus as graduation will be occurring on Saturday. Maine baseball team will be hosting a series as well. Another breaking pitch, finding the inside half right at the knees. It's always a exciting but also kind of somber time of the year with all the graduates and moving on to the new stage in their life. 2-2 pitch. Off the end of the bat, we'll find some outfield turf and go and kicked into the corner. UAlbany will hold the runner at third base. Sliding back just in time is going to be the pinched runner, Nardelli. But now 2 runners in scoring position and the game-tying run at the plate for UAlbany.
Well, Sierra Roy just reaches the bat head out, does a great job to rope that low and away pitch into the corner. A struggle with it in left field for Williams, uncharacteristic, as it bumps off her backhanded glove and trickles into the corner, but managed to chase it down, gun it into third base, and Nardelli just back in there safely. You saw Joe Reardon throw up the go, 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 turn, turn, turn sign, and then quickly stop, go back. And she did just as he instructed. And now 2 runners in scoring position with 2 away. UAlbany with 2 outs and with runners on independently of one another, but they are both 1 for 4 in those situations.
That has to change if UAlbany is going to continue in this tournament field. Team that's been so successful, including last year. Well, not last year. Last time the tournament was held here in Orono. Great Danes victorious, winning the crown on Championship Saturday. Here's Julia Pike. Powell reading the signs for the dugout on the third base side. 2 runners in scoring position. Right at the shortstop. As Waldo fires over. 1 pitch and the final out recorded. Well, UAlbany threatens again, but still scoreless through 3.5 as we play the home half of the 4th between Bryant and UAlbany coming up next on ESPN+.
1 error and 2 runners left on base. For Bryant, the right fielder, number 12, Alana Garcia.
Welcome back to the Pierre and Catherine Labatt Softball Complex for the Northeast Delta Dental America East Softball Championship, hosted by the University of Maine. I'm Brian Stackpole along with Jonas Smith. Bottom of the 4th inning. Garcia, first pitch swinging, sending back Parisi, shy of the track. 1 pitch, 1 out. And Garcia now 0 for 1 on the day after walking her prior plate appearance.
Well, this game changed on a dime. First inning, bit of a slower pace as the pitchers were feeling things out, struggling with the command. And since then, they've just been mowing them down. Aricello and Powell working together to just burn through these innings, and something will definitely change again.
I think the first inning lasted over 30 minutes combined between top and bottom.
Now batting the catcher, number 23.
And then these last almost 3 innings have just blown by. Kudos to these pitchers who have just been able to find a groove. This one swung on, hit back all the way to the track, and that one is going to be up and over. It just kept carrying out, and Alyssa West hits the solo shot to get a 4-0 lead for the Bryant Bulldogs.
Resounding opposite field shot for Alyssa West. Top batting average hitter for the Bryant Bulldogs. Home run lucky number 3 on the year. RBI lucky number 13.
Almost hit her mug on the scoreboard and the video board off in the distance in right center field.
Protective net there to prevent the auto vandalism, shall we say.
First pitch swinging, another rip, another base hit. Jalen Lee on first base after hitting that one to right field. Back-to-back shots One scoring a run, the other one a potential for some runs here. It's now Anaya Lewis coming up with one down and one on. That was one question you did have, too, when we first came here yesterday, because they put the board up on Tuesday, and we arrived on Wednesday morning, as Jenna was inquiring about whether the net was able to protect that screen. We were rest assured that it did, in fact, protect the whole entire screen. It would take a Herculean shot to damage that screen.
I think you would actually have to fire the softball out of a weapon if you wanted to rip through that net.
You would have to hit that at such a high velocity to rip the net to be able to damage that thing. Mary Kay Murray gets that one lofted up, and I think some frustration for Lewis. Did not even want to swing at that one, just hit the bat and basically just floated right in the glove of Murray.
Yeah, tried to take that decision back about a third of the way through and was too late at that point. Jammed off the handle and just a little butterfly floater into the glove of Murray, who had her played perfectly.
There's Ariana Williams. Stole home back in the first after walking. Grounded out to the shortstop in her second plate appearance. Well, the Bulldogs now in a great spot. A 4-run lead, which we've seen sometimes is not enough in the Americas tournament, but could be versus UAlbany. Struggle in these clutch situations with runners on. Versus Maine, they had bases loaded multiple times, but only able to put up 3 total runs. 1-1 count after that one, misses the zones. To the leadoff hitter, Williams. Arikello's pitch, that'll miss. 2-1 now the count. Bulldogs is the home team, just need to record 9 outs without surrendering 4 runs. And they will move into Friday and a step closer to the Americas Championship game. Bunt, back to the backstop, and it'll be now a 2-2 count.
In the wake of that 4th run, the bubble gun was on overdrive in the third base Bryant Bulldogs dugout.
It's like the joy is back in Bryantville, kind of akin to the Grinch and the joy in Whoville. They were a little bit more somber in pregame. This one fouled back again. First game today, they were jumping and around. The bubble gun was going at full blast. And then the result happened versus UMass Lowell, and things got a little bit more real for the Bulldogs. Now it seems like they're getting their mojo back as the #1 seed with a score of 4-0. Another one misses. Count will be full. And a chance to go on the pitch for Jalen Lee.
Maybe if the Bulldogs claw back, find a way to win this tournament, go back to Smithfield, Rhode Island, coat the town in bubbles.
Yeah, no bubble will be safe. Back up the middle. Grayheck dives, but can't get a glove on it. Great job by Beal gathering that one up, and no more advancement other than just up to second base for Lee.
Good diving attempt by Grayheck to no avail this time. And Bryant's putting it together.
Here's Jaden Jenks, 0 for 1 today, showing a bunt. And we'll hit this one down the line, and that's going to be fair. That's likely going to play to run, as coming in from third and scoring is Lee. They're going to hold up Williams at third base, but now 2 runners in scoring position on the RBI double by Jaden Jenks.
Alyssa West set the tone this inning for the Bulldogs. And the rest of her teammates in the order said, hey, let's follow suit. Let's get this hit parade going. 2-out rally in full swing. 2 runners in scoring position for Gabriela Gesualdo, who's got plenty of pop and great contact skills.
Already with a home run today in the earlier contest. One swing of the bat, she can make this an 8-0 lead for the Bulldogs.
1 for 2 with an RBI single, came around to score.
Couple raindrops falling, but nothing significant at the ballpark here today. Right back up the middle. Again, another diving effort, but 2 runs will score. 3 RBIs on the day, though she'll get gunned out at second base. but it'll be a 7-0 lead after just Waldo points another pair. And it's Bryant 7, UAlbany nothing as we head to the top of the 5th on ESPN Plus.
At Northeast Delta Dental, we love to see people smile. And as the leading provider of quality dental coverage for Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont, we're committed to helping entire communities smile. Whether it's through education, supporting our veterans, or giving and volunteering, we're helping to make our communities even stronger. Learn more about Northeast Delta Dental at nedelta.com. We think you'll find a lot to smile about.
At Service Credit Union, we believe that your life is a story. And like most stories, every chapter brings something different. A new adventure, a new calling, a new hero, and even a new beginning. No matter what page you're on, we'll be with you. Service Credit Union.
At Jersey Mike's, they slice your order fresh right in front of you. And let me tell you, watching that can send a rush of emotions through a person. Excitement, baby-like wonder, anticipatory chewing, nervous pacing, happy claps, and finally, jealousy, because that's this guy's sub. I should order one. Good idea.
Get the Boardwalk Bundle, a number 2 sub, chips and a drink for $10.99. Available for a limited time.
It's a Jersey Mike's thing, a sub above.
Welcome back to Pierre and Catherine Labatt Softball Complex for the Northeast Delta Dental American Softball Championship, hosted by the University of Maine. I'm Brian Stankville, joined by Jonas Smith, Ryan Leffler, and Marissa Tripp back in production, doing an excellent job behind the scenes. UAlbany fans were elated after they knocked out the hosting Maine Black Bears, but then now disappointed seeing their team trailing 7-0. It was just 3-0 back last half inning, but a 4-spot put in the bottom of the 4th has given the Great Danes some work to do. Casey Kahn, the number 8 hitter, sees the first pitch from Powell, who's done an excellent job here today, just allowing 2 hits and a couple of walks back in the first inning. Outside of that, it's been a crisp outing for her, and the 2 hits allowed came in the 4th.
And the efficiency with which she's been able to pitch in this contest, so valuable because you know she's got plenty more left in the tank to hopefully wrap this one up for Bryant if you're a Bulldogs fan. And that means if they move on to tomorrow, they can cycle back to the pitcher of the year, Maddie Wachter.
This one lofted into left field, stepping back at least initially, but Williams will gather that. And a quick first out, and Casey Kahn retired. Kahn batting in the number 8 spot as the 8-9-1 were due up this order. We'll see Ava Beal step up next. Beal struck out swinging with a one and only strikeout of Lexi Powell's outing. Powell does such an excellent job mixing up speeds as the breaking pitch, just missing the zone, but when you can dial up the fastball and then have that one hit the outside half, which is pretty impressive. Though just missing on the control there. This one grounded down towards the shortstop, picked up. Giswaldo fires over in time to beat Beal, who was barreling down like a runaway train, but the throw beats her by a step.
First team all-conference shortstop, Gabriela Giswaldo makes that one look elementary, but that bounding ball, quick short hop, picks it up and a rocket across the infield, and that was anything but simple.
Very impressive are these Bryant Bulldogs. Game 1 just wasn't their cup of tea in this morning session today on the Thursday. It's back to the top of the order. And Taylor Quinn sees the first one miss the zone, 1-0. And for the Bulldogs, they actually looked like they were having a good time versus UMass Lowell, and then ultimately that 5-run 5th inning they're undoing. This one again, just Waldo. This time knocks it down, throws it over, but in time to beat Quinn, for a 1-2-3 inning for Lexi Powell and the Bulldogs. We head to the bottom of the fifth, 7-0 Bryant over UAlbany on ESPN+. Bottom of the fifth inning, 7-0 lead for the Bulldogs, who are on the precipice of moving on to another elimination game and one step closer to championship Saturday. First pitch to the number 4 hitter, cleanup hitter Tegan Thompson. It's going to be a called strike. Brian Stackpole, Jonah Smith with you. We appreciate you making us part of your Thursday evening plans in the third and fifth game of the day and tournament, respectively. This one bouncing the turn. Eric Kello's actually done fairly well outside a struggling fourth inning and some hiccups in the first inning in which the UAlbany team surrendered 4 runs and 3 runs, respectively. It's been a pretty clean outing for her. Swing and a miss. 1-2 the count.
And, the lineup for the Great Danes have not really been doing Arikella that many favors either. And that's not to say that they've really been letting her down. It's just all tournament long, I feel like the wind has been taken out of an otherwise great lineup's sails. Again, a lot of traffic on in these 3 games, not many runs.
This one hit down the line, looks to be hooking foul, and running out of time is going to be Taylor Quinn, who gave some chase along with Mary Kate. Well, actually not Mary Kate Murray, it was Casey Kahn, the second baseman. Traversed a long distance to even make a go of it.
UAlbany fewer offensive opportunities in this contest with runners on, but still only 1 for 5 in those opportunities.
Yeah, just 2 hits. Both of those occurred back in the 4th inning, but to no avail. This one hit down the right side and in between the gap between Murray and Kahn. The throw not in time by Quinn. It'll be a leadoff single by the cleanup hitter Thompson. Also on the table right now for the Bulldogs with a 7-0 lead. One more run will end this game for them. They've played enough innings and they just need enough runs. One of the reasons why we see a pinch hitter coming, or pinch runner, I should say, coming in for Thompson. Looks like it's going to be Nia Plisko, New Milford, Connecticut native.
Now running at first base for
Just the 7th appearance on the season for Nia Plisko. Came around to score 3 times in these sorts of situations, however, has not attempted a stolen base this year.
There's Bryce Glendenin. That was a home run swing if I've ever seen one. Just got that one in on the hands.
Had visions of ending this game instantly, but did get jammed there off the handle of the bat, and not really physically possible to power one over the fence when it hits that part of your weapon.
Absolutely. As the bubbles continue to fly in the dugout. Looks like my house with a 2-year-old at night. This one misses everything. Plesko will easily advance to second base. The count will be 1-1. Glendennon's cut looks like it was trying to be a fixture of the new Morris Arena that they're building off in the distance. A beautiful structure on paper, the foundation being laid, and they're hoping to have that opened at some point during the 2027-28 basketball season. Here's the 1-1 pitch. A beautiful bunt. Picked up, fired over, off the glove. Here comes the run in. And that is going to do it here, and the Bulldogs win it 8-0 in 5 innings over UAlbany.
Well, the run rule comes into play here today, but that's not indicative of UAlbany's effort in this game or in this tournament. Set the table so many times, so well over their 3 games in the America East Championships, and just couldn't manage to find the timely hitting in the first game against UMass Lowell. Found the nail-biter victory against UMaine earlier today, but now against the regular season #1 seed, just couldn't muster the runs. And great work by Lexi Powell in the circle today for Bryant, and just complete dominance up and down the lineup today as they found a way to send themselves to tomorrow.
And without further ado, I'm going to send it back over to Jonah. So we're going to look at our Jersey Mike sub-above player of the game, scratching his head, trying to determine who is going to be that person he's going to bestow with this honor. But Jonah, who gets that delightful honor as the bubbles fall on the Bulldogs out in the outfield?
Well, she was our pick-to-click pregame for the Bryant Bulldogs, and Gabriela Gesualdo did not disappoint. 2 for 3 today, came around to score once, had 3 runs batted in, and just seeing the ball so well. Played some great defense at the shortstop position, ran the base as well, and really showed off her 5 tools of skills out there on the diamond, and she's excited to make an impact again tomorrow, Brian.
Made a couple amazing plays defensively, too, using a cannon of her arm to throw out the runners at first base. And congratulations to Gabriella. Jersey Mike's a proud supporter of America's women's sports. Jersey Mike's a sub above. So now we know the field is set for tomorrow as we are one step closer to Championship Saturday, and it will be tomorrow morning at noon. I guess tomorrow afternoon, technically. It'll be UMass Lowell taking on the Binghamton Bearcats, and then the winner moves on to Championship Saturday and will have to be beat twice. The loser will take on the Bryant Bulldogs at roughly around, I think, 2:30, roughly, but again, that'll be depending on everything else. But another great day of games here today. Jonah, been a pleasure working with you for the 3 games here today.
Always. Glad we could put our heads together and bring this game to some softball fans.
Well, we'll do it again tomorrow here for another pair of games. Again, thank you and shout out to our whole production team led by Ryan Leffler and Marissa Tripp, doing an excellent job over at Mahaney Diamond, keeping the show on the road at a top-notch class. But for Jonah Smith, Brian Stackpole saying so long here from Orono and the Pierre and Catherine Labatt Softball Complex, where an 8-0 victory was had by the Bryant Bulldogs over UAlbany to punch their ticket to another elimination game on Friday. This has been a presentation of ESPN.
At Northeast Delta Dental, we love to see people smile. And as the leading provider of quality dental coverage for Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont, we're committed to helping entire communities smile. Whether it's through education, supporting our veterans, or giving and volunteering, we're helping to make our communities even stronger. Learn more about Northeast Delta Dental at nedelta.com. We think you'll find a lot to smile about.
Most people spend their time trying to fit in. Not me. I want to be all in. I want to be in too deep, in the moment, in the center of it all, in the room where it happens. In it to make a difference every single moment of every single day. So grit your teeth and smile. Be ready to take on adversity. Be ready to transform the world. Ready for whatever life has in store. So, you in?
At the University at Albany, we see greatness in you. There's passion and purpose, a fierce curiosity, ready to blaze big ideas and tackle the tough questions. We see grit, drive, determination. The University at Albany is home for dreamers and achievers just like you. The world needs greatness, and you are one of the greats.